So the most important part of any vacation is the souvenirs or swag or haul, whatever you want to call it, that you bring back from the place that you went. So to start this video off with, I'm going to go through the things that we purchased for our coworkers, family, friends, things like that. We'll get the coworkers out of the way because that's generally the cheaper gifts that you get. So here, for my wife's office, she got some Halloween Disney pretzels, and I went the cheap-ish route with these guys here. They're little Mickey / Minnie keychains. They're kind of the consistency of the little antenna toppers that you could get and still get, though not many cars have antenna toppers anymore, or antennas anymore. So these are like the next best things to getting those because they kind of say Disney World. So you can get these 3 for $6, which is really good. So picked up a set for the people that work in my office for under $12. Wasn't sure what to get my brother, but you know, he was watching my cats while we were away. So I ended up getting him this. It is a Chippendale Rescue Ranger pin. My brother and I really liked this show when we were younger growing up. So this was kind of the obvious thing for me to get for him once I saw it. So I picked it up. It was really cool. Don't really see much of the Chippendale Rescue Ranger stuff anymore. It was a 90s show, so that's to be expected. Now the other thing that I picked up, not for my brother, but for somebody else who's pretty much like family, is this little Jessica Rabbit salute pin. Has kind of an articulating arm here. He's in the Navy. Jessica Rabbit here is definitely saluting for the Army, but it was Jessica Rabbit and military, so I figured he wouldn't mind all too much. Also picked him up a bottle of sake. Actually called him while I was away on vacation and tried to get an idea of what kind of refreshment he might enjoy, seeing as how we went during the food and wine festival. So it was either this or a bottle of spiced rum. So we ended up going with the sake because I hadn't seen this before. My parents didn't really want anything, so I picked them up a Walt Disney World magnet. Again, everything is color-coded in Disney, so this was mint. I believe that's like a $7 or $8 gift. Again, was looking for something that screamed Disney World, so here you go, Disney World, and you have, you know, different things to let you know, hey, this was the park you were at. Last but not least, my wife got her uncle a mug, so here you go. Beneath this grumpy exterior beats the heart of a dashing hero. Probably should take that price tag off before we give it to them, but the mug was $12.95. You know, it's got a matte finish. It's a very large mug. It's not a human-sized mug. If you're thinking a normal cup of coffee, this is probably the equivalent of 2.5 cups. So, kind of cool. No. So, there you go. That's pretty much what we got for friends and family. Mainly because they really didn't want anything, and you know, the few people who did or who we wanted to get stuff for, we got little things because, you know, they'll probably complain when they get stuff from us. But whatever. Okay, moving on to the larger portion, which is the stuff that, you know, souvenirs that we got for ourselves. Okay, moving on to souvenir and gifts that we got for ourselves, either things that we purchased or items that we just picked up as keepsakes of our trip. To start off, you have what comes with your package, the little flash drive here that is your gateway to the information about your Disney vacation. Likewise, you can order customized maps for all the parks with things that interest you on them. So that's yet another little keepsake or souvenir. Likewise, the magic bands that you get that are your room key, fast pass, and possibly a credit card. That's another little thing that we have as keepsakes. Next are the pins that you can get at check-in. So for me, since it was my first visit, I got a My First Visit pin. And it was also my birthday while we were down there, so I got a birthday pin. So, yeah, turned 31 while I was at the park. That was an interesting day. lots of people saying happy birthday. So that was kind of cool. Got a happily ever after pin and a happy anniversary pin for my wife because my mother-in-law had told them that it was our honeymoon. So we got these 2 pins. Again, little free things that we got. Now, once you get into your hotel room, there are other things that you can get or keep as keepsakes of the park. My mother-in-law grabbed these. These are little thin coasters that were in the room. She gave us a set. She had a set for herself. Likewise, as you probably already know, all the bath products that you can get while you're at the Disney hotel. You can kind of stash a set and they'll replenish your supply. Now, because we were part of the Disney Vacation Club, they only came in to our room once every 4 days, and I only stashed them once to get replenished. But I must say, they gave me a lot to replenish. I have about 4 of all these little bottles, and another one of these, and like 3 soaps. There's a facial soap somewhere, but I have no idea where that is. The foot scrub, or foot rub. After walking around the park as much as you have been, this stuff is awesome, so use it. Don't take it lightly. And then if you have anything left, take it home with you because it's really nice. Okay, so other little freebies that you can get are products or advertisements. So we went to the Hoop-Dee-Doo review, and again, my mother-in-law grabbed the menu, which is just printed off on really light paper, but you know, it's a souvenir. We did a character breakfast, and like I said, it was my birthday, so that was interesting. So I have all of the signatures for the Winnie the Pooh cast without having to have them come to the table. Got a card. They did come to the table. There's pictures somewhere, but I won't be interjecting those. But I got that without having to wait for characters. We did the Not So Scary Halloween party, so we grabbed one of those flyers while we were there, just so, you know, we remember what it was like. It shows the location of the candy and so forth. Last little freebie thing that I got is this sticker, which actually isn't from the park itself. It was from a gentleman who I happened to run into while I was souvenir shopping. He had a vest full of Chippendale pins, so I kind of saw it. I like Chippendale, so I started talking to him. He walked away. I was still looking at pins. I felt somebody tap me on the back. I turn around, and he hands me this Chippendale sticker. So that was kind of cool. And if you're out there watching this video, awesome. Thanks. You made my day. Okay. Starting off with things that we purchased. This was actually purchased by my sister-in-law as a gift for my wife and I. It is a picture of the first ride that we did at the park, Splash Mountain. Not going to be showing you that, but that's a souvenir. I think it was like 20 bucks, a little more maybe. But yeah, so that's another souvenir. Okay, so moving on to things that we purchased for ourselves. I will start with some of the things that my wife got for herself. In England, she got herself a little candy bar here. She went to Ireland way back when in high school, and this is one of the candy bars that she had while she was there and couldn't find it. Well, at Epcot, they had a whole bunch of these, so she picked one up for herself. She also likes Star Wars. Let's see if I can get that in focus. So she picked herself up a whole bunch of Star Wars pins, and also picked up Star Wars playing cards. This was all right in the gift shop for the Star Wars ride, so that made things really easy to find. I don't think there's really anything on the back here except, okay, so it gives you a little demonstration as to what the actual cards will look like. Obviously, as you can see, have not quite opened that yet, but it will get opened eventually. While we were in Japan, we also stopped off at the shop and tried a couple of different sakis, so we picked some up to try. Well, we tried this one. It's really sweet, really good. This one looked interesting, has a little fruit inside there. We actually talked to the cashier for a little while, and she says when she went out drinking with her friends, this is the one that she preferred. over this one. While they were both nice, she liked this one a little more because it was actually bottled and made in Japan. It also is 14% alcohol by volume as compared to this one. Haven't tried this one yet, but we will be. Have tried this one. It is definitely a sipping sake, so tread lightly. But it was tasty and fruitful. It was tasty. All right, so a little bit of thing that we got for ourselves. You know, little magnet set to commemorate the trip down there. Each of them is, you know, an image that pertains to the particular area. Main Street with the Walt Disney and Mickey statue, Adventureland with one of the Tiki Parrots, Tomorrowland with Buzz Lightyear, Fantasyland with Dumbo, Liberty Square with the Hitchhiking Ghosts, yay Hitchhiking Ghost, and Frontierland with Splash Mountain, Briar Rabbit. We also picked up this giant tin of popcorn, which is kind of difficult for me to film because of the way my camera's set up, so I'm just going to slowly rotate through that. So it obviously has the Halloween motif on it because we did go down in October, so it was Halloween time, so you get a lot of Haunted Mansion and Jack Skellington, which I don't know if you saw, so let me quickly pan through that again, bring that a little closer. There's Jack Skellington in the moon there. And the top of the tin has Mickey, Minnie, and the Hitchhiking Ghosts. So that's items that we bought for ourselves, and then we move into things that I bought for myself. Now, I wasn't really sure what I would get for, you know, myself as souvenirs. I'm not really big into, you know, shirts or hats or things like that. But I figured I would try my hand at you know, getting some pins because that's the thing to do in Disney. So I got myself a couple of pins. The first pin I got was this one here, which is just a pin of all 4 of the different areas. Everything is color-coded, so this was a blue one. Most of the ones that I ended up getting are blue pins, which are about $10. And pins get really expensive really quickly if you start, you know, getting a lot of them. I think I have, what do I have here? $50 in just like regular pins, and then I have a couple special ones that I got. So here I got myself the same Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers pin that I got from my brother because, like I said, it was the show that we liked growing up as children, and you know, there's 2 of us and there were 2 of them, so it made picking a favorite character much easier since, you know, twins can't pick the same character. I picked this one up over in Epcot, although I did see it in a couple other places. Apparently it's a limited edition pin. Has Chip and Clarice. I had to look her up because I had forgotten her name. I remember seeing her in a cartoon a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it was only one cartoon that she was ever in. But yeah, so little barbershop with her in it. Limited edition. Not entirely sure how many pins were made. So that one, if you saw, was like $12, so a little more expensive. I got a Chip 'n Dale Haunted Mansion one because the Haunted Mansion definitely was my favorite ride. So it has the moving element here and then the Hitchhiking Ghosts in the background. And the Hitchhiking Ghosts do glow in the dark, which is kind of cool. And again, that's a blue pin, so that was like $10. Last bit for the regular pins was a Jack Skellington, since we were down during Halloween. This is kind of like a rotating many faces of Jack pin. I kind of liked it. There were other Jack pins, but I thought this one was kind of cool because, you know, it had the rotating element and you can just kind of pick the head that you want. And again, that was a blue pin, so that was $10. While we were down there, we did the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So there were a couple of pins that we picked up, which you could only get if you went to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. So I picked up the Mickey and Minnie Not So Scary Halloween pin for my wife, limited release. I think that one was, all right there, it's like $15 if you round up. It's kind of a cool pin. That moon there is actually kind of like stained glass, so it is see-through. And that's pretty cool. Now again, because I like Chip 'n Dale, I picked up the Chip 'n Dale Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween pin. It's got a little moving element here with Dale and Clarice. Again, like I said, kind of forgot her name, but they seem to be trying to bring her back, so expect to see more of her. This one's a limited edition one, so it was a little more expensive. It was $15.95 as opposed to the $14.95 of the other one. I believe this is only a 4,500 run. Again, not super into pin trading or collecting, but this is kind of what I decided to go with for my souvenirs because they're small, easy to pack, and I can put them away safely, and yay, Disney World. All right, the last thing I did was I bought myself one of these mystery packs while we were there. Now, again, one of the things that you could only get if you went to the Not So Scary Halloween party. If you're going to go to the Not So Scary Halloween party next year, because by the time this video comes out, the party's probably over, you do get a wristband, and the pins themselves are not kept with all the other merchandise, which you need the band to get into the area that has it all. The pins are kind of kept behind the cashier. So what you do is you go up to the cashier, you show them your band, you say you want to see the Halloween pins, and they bring forth what they have available, and then you pick what you want. So this one is a mystery pack. You get 2 random pins and 2 mystery pins. Or there are 2 mystery pins that you don't know what they are. So in this particular box, I got Dale. So I would have been happier if it was Chip, but getting Dale was kind of cool since he, one of the 2 that I wanted. I've seen online that this is listed as glowing in the dark. They don't glow in the dark. There's no elements on these that glow in the dark. I double checked, left them out in the sun for a while, and the white elements don't glow, unlike the elements over here, the hitchhiking ghosts do glow in the dark, which is kind of cool. So I got Dale as part of the mystery gift, mystery set, and the other mystery set was Goofy, which is really convenient because my wife loves Goofy, so that made things much, much easier. So that was kind of cool. So that was the other mystery box that we got, or the other pin that we got in the mystery box. Last but not least are the souvenirs that my mother-in-law and sister-in-law got us. They're really into pin trading, so the majority of stuff they got us was kind of related to pin trading. So this is kind of it's one of the things that goes at the end of the neck lanyard. So it's 2 Chinese dragons that kind of look like Mickey's head. Well, that looks like Mickey's head, not kind of looks like Mickey's head. They got me a Jack and Sally neck lanyard for pin trading, which we really didn't end up doing, but there were other things that we wanted to do on this trip. But they got their pin trading in. We just didn't happen to do it. So the pins that I did get will end up going on here. So, the many faces of Jack, as well as, some Halloween inspired design there. So they actually did get us some pins before we even went down to the park to try and spur us and get us interested in pin trading. Here is a Chip 2014 pin, as well as a Hidden Mickey Goofy pin that they got from my wife because she likes Goofy. So here we have another Goofy pin and Chip and Dale. And last but not least, a Chip pin, which kind of, if I read the back right, it's from a Disney cruise. Now, the reason that these guys are in plastic bags is because these were pins that they got for pin trading. We kind of got them because we're like, ooh, they look nice. They purchased them from a website which did not guarantee if the pins were scrappers or not. And from what they told me, a scrapper is a counterfeit pin which people use to trade the Disney cast members to get legit pins. I really don't see why you would, well, I see why you would do that, but it's really, really kind of not a good practice to do. And if you're trading scrapper pins to a Disney cast member, by the end of the day, wouldn't the entire lanyard be filled with scrapper pins? So you're just getting a scrapper back. Whatever, some people do that. Okay, so some pins that they did give us that they got from pin trading. Here's a Goofy pin, again, because my wife likes Goofy. We've got a Disney Princess Cupcake pin, a Hidden Mickey pin, pop vinyl chip pin because I like chip. We got these two shield pins, which appear to be hidden Mickey pins, but I'm not entirely sure where they're from or if they're actually real. If you know where they're from, or can tell me if they're real or not. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. They're kind of cool. They gave them to us as a gift, so even if they're not legitimate Disney World pins, it's still pretty cool that we have them. Okay, this is a rack pin, but it doesn't have a rack back to it because they probably got it through pin trading. But I saw this when we were at the park, so kind of cool. Little Yoda. My wife also loves Star Wars, so that's why this is here. Okay, so we got a couple of rack pins, which are probably duplicates for them, but they got for us anyway, so it's part of the Walt Disney World ride collection. So we got Test Track here, because Test Track is an awesome ride, as well as a Splash Mountain pin. Again, another awesome ride, so they got it for us, and just a listing of the other rides that are in the collection. And last but not least, a Hoop-Dee-Doo pin with Mickey and Minnie. We went to go see the Hoop-Dee-Doo show, so this is kind of their commemorating that particular show. It was an awesome show. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. The food's great, and it's funny, and they definitely improv. I mean, we were like right up against the stage, so you kind of got to see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that people further back didn't get to see. So a lot of the show actually is improv, so that was kind of cool to see, being that close. So yeah, that's kind of all the souvenirs that we got. I know it's a long video because there's a lot of souvenirs. There's much more souvenirs than I thought we actually got. Hopefully you found this video in some way, shape, or form interesting. All the little things that you can get from Disney World and somewhat of the prices. Again, that's a blue pin, so I know how much they paid for it. But yep. Hopefully you've liked this video. Hopefully you've liked this video series because, first timer, don't have kids, kind of older. I grew up with Disney, but I wasn't like a Disney fanatic. Don't know when I'll be getting back to Disney if you want more videos. So this might be the only video set that you get for a while. But hopefully you found it interesting. And if you have, I appreciate you watching it and letting me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed it. Okay, so thanks for watching, and have a great day.